Hello, my name is Willem, and I'm joining you today from Siemens Mobility. I work within the entry-level talent team, where our function is to look after the apprentices during their program. Today, I'll be presenting the role that the Assessment Centre process has within Siemens Mobility's recruitment, in partnership with the East Riding Council Hire Me event. As you can see by the table of contents, I'll first give you all some information on what Siemens Mobility does and who we are. I'll then discuss how you, personally, could potentially join our team and become our next future maker. Lastly, we will give you an overview of how a modern-day recruitment process works, with some hints and tips in preparation for the day that you are invited to one. Siemens Mobility is broken down into 3 business units that specialize in the efficient, safe, and environmentally friendly transportation of people and goods by both road and rail. Our Intelligent Traffic Systems business unit creates intelligent road infrastructure and traffic solutions in and between cities. These are designed to improve traffic management and road safety, increase efficiency in public transport, and to provide charging points for electric vehicles. Our Rail Infrastructure business unit is the world leader in railway control. The function of the railway depends on signalling, control systems, customer information systems, electrification, and telecoms. Rail infrastructure have designed and installed these systems across the world. Lastly, our rolling stock business unit manufactures passenger trains, including both light and high-speed rail. This manufacturing procedure will soon be housed in the UK from our factory based in Goole, which is currently in development. This slide shows how each of Siemens Mobility's products and solutions connect together in order to form a connected mobility network. 3 business units, which form Siemens Mobility, design and install all the products and solutions that are shown in this graphic, as well as maintaining some of this equipment to ensure our roads and rail networks are safe. Through automation, electrification, and digitalization, Siemens Mobility is working to make the road and rail network safer, more reliable, and more efficient. The network of customer information systems, such as the smart stations, can be seen here, and e-ticketing can be seen here, as well as onboard services combined with our rolling stock to enhance the rail passenger experience. Our signalling and control system products ensure that rail freight and passengers are transported safely. This is through our communication-based train control, can be seen here, GSMR, which is the telephone in trains, track-child equipment, integrated control centres and management, can be seen here, and lastly, the European Train Control System. In addition, the Intelligent Traffic Systems business unit provides solutions such as traffic lights, clean air zones, road traffic control centres, can be seen here, and electric vehicle charging stations, here. With the location of this Hire Me event being in East Riding, we have selected the new rail factory in Goole as the most likely destination for any potential assessment centres that you may undertake with us. Our Goole rail factory will be part of our rolling stock business unit. On this slide, we will disclose some of the business unit's key information. Our rolling stock business unit has over 25 years of UK rolling stock experience. During the last 5 years of this tenure, £350 million have been invested in the rail service. There are currently over 500 Siemens Mobility manufactured trains in daily passenger service for various operators around the UK. Furthermore, there are 8 purpose-built Siemens Mobility train care facilities, which maintain and repair the trains. The rolling stock business unit aspires to lead the carbon-neutral railway with the development of advanced hydrogen fuel cell technology. And lastly, we are also delivering digitally enabled modern trains. Now that you have an overview of Siemens Mobility, do you have the desire to become our next future maker? I will now talk about the role that that the assessment centre has in choosing our next entry-level talent. Here, at Siemens Mobility, we have the ethos that attracting and retaining entry-level talent helps to maintain and improve upon our excellent workforce. Let's quickly break down the mindsets of our future makers. First, cognitive abilities. To be able to quickly process new information, to have the ability to absorb complexity and provide clarity, and to co-create with internal and external partners. Two, connecting with people. Be able to build up and maintain successful relationships, to cooperate and collaborate with others well, to act with self-confidence, yet show the necessary degree of humility. Three, open-mindedness and quick learning. Show curiosity and actively search for new situations and opportunities to learn. Be able to provide and accept effective feedback, show a high level of self-reflection to improve. To be willing to learn new things fast and to adjust accordingly. 4. Motivation and resilience. To show aspiration in taking over responsibility, to look to shape the business with creative drive. To have intrinsic motivation, driven by inner passion rather than external motivation. To maintain persistence, keep on driving topics forward, even under difficult and insecure frame conditions. And lastly, be able to quickly jump back from setbacks and to stay optimistic. If you feel like you can become the next future maker and decide to apply for an entry-level talent role, you may find yourself completing some or all of these stages. Stage 1, online application. The application will require a CV and/or a job application form. Stage 2, virtual screening. This could be in the form of a game-based assessment, or secondly, you may be posed with some questions where you're asked to respond via a video of yourself. The next stage is application screening. This is where the applications are assessed in order to decipher which candidates should be invited to the assessment centre. The role may then require some additional testing, such as behavioural assessments. Then, the penultimate stage is the assessment centre. This will be discussed in detail now. So, what is an assessment centre? An assessment centre is the stage within the recruitment and selection process whereby candidates are assessed against one another in order to identify the leading candidates. These will then be invited to interview. Using assessment centres helps us to efficiently select the strongest candidates from a large group. This is particularly useful as we have over 100 applicants per role. Assessment centres are mostly used within the entry-level talent recruitment. We try our best to keep them similar and consistent across all business units. The candidates are assessed in numerous functions to assess their suitability for the role. These functions include, firstly, the candidate will receive an introduction to the business, and depending on location, a site tour. It's important that the candidate feels like this is the right place for them. Secondly, the candidate will be judged on how well they work in the team. This will be within a group activity scenario that has strict timings. Next, the candidates then have the opportunity to show off their presentation skills based on their findings from the group-based activity. Furthermore, and depending on the role, there could be additional testing, such as attention to detail tests, practical tests, numerical tests, and possibly compatibility testing. Lastly, if they get to this stage, there'll be an hour-long strength-based interview, whereby the candidate is invited to discuss what they enjoy and where their passions lie. This interview allows the candidate to demonstrate that they're a good fit for the business and that they share our values. Why do we have assessment centres? Number 1. There may be a large number of roles to fill. This is particularly common for entry-level talent, as, for example, year-long interns want to start and finish at the same time to fit around university. Therefore, their recruitment and selection process will all start at the same time. Lots of our entry-level talent opportunities are based at our larger sites. Therefore, we have lots of people at the assessment centres being assessed for roles. Applications can be in their hundreds. This is a great filtering system. 2. You want to assess your soft skills. We don't expect entry-level talent to have hordes of experience. Instead, we want to test how well you work in a team, your attention to detail, your presentation skills, and most importantly, to see where your strengths and weaknesses lie. 3. To compare a mixture of soft skills and technical skills against other candidates instantaneously, such as how well you cope under pressure, your team working skills, and previous experience. And lastly, number 4, to assess your knowledge of the business. Are you able to bring in context during both the group-based activity and the interview in order to demonstrate that you're keen on working for Siemens Mobility? If you do have the interest, I've got some candidates' tips on how to best prepare. 1. Ensure you know the location of the assessment centre. Assessment centres are usually on strict timing, so being late can come across as unprofessional and unreliable.
If you don't know where the site is, do a test drive to see how long it takes to get there, etc. Or if you live too far away for that, get to the site early and prepare for the day in a nearby cafe.
Number 2. Research the company and its values so that you understand what you're applying for. You can then discuss this with your interviewers during the group-based activity.
It's as important that you ensure that the company's values are in line with yours. You will enjoy your job a lot when working somewhere that you're passionate about.
Number 3. Show your passion for what you are applying for. As entry-level talent, we're not expecting you to have loads of experience. We want to know that you'll be dedicated to the role.
Make sure you show that you're passionate about the remit of your role. It really impresses the hiring managers to know that you're invested in your future and know what you want.
Number 4. Check whether your assessment centre is virtual. It can be a lot more difficult to show off your soft skills as there's no face-to-face interaction when the assessment centre is virtual. Make sure you're still showing these off.
The main tip for virtual environments I could give would be to make sure your technology is working properly so that you aren't disadvantaged in any way. Try doing video calls and test your camera and microphone beforehand so that you are prepared, and make sure you have read the invite carefully and know exactly what times you are required.
Thank you. I hope this presentation has been beneficial for you all and that you feel more confident that you know what assessment centres are and why they're used. Lastly, just remember to be yourself. We want to see your soft skills, so show them off.
On this slide, we will explain a little bit more about NTAR, otherwise known as the National Training Academy for Rail. The National Skills Academy for Rail, otherwise known as NSAR, has partnered with Siemens Mobility to form NTAR, the National Training Academy for Rail. NTAR is the go-to-market brand that offers technical training and telecoms training to the rail industry, apprenticeships at level 2 and level 3 in rail engineering with various pathways. The first of these pathways can be seen in the second box, which is the level 2 operator in traction and rolling stock. Everything from basic engineering hand skills to the commercial principles of the railway. On the traction and rolling stock pathway, learners will demonstrate specific knowledge and skills around the maintenance and operation of mechanical and electrical systems, subsystems, ancillary equipment, and vehicle trim. We also have a level 3 technician in traction and rolling stock apprenticeship. This program covers everything from basic engineering hand skills and electrical principles to problem solving and innovation and the commercial principles of the railway. On the traction and rolling stock pathway, learners will develop knowledge of traction systems and passenger comfort, and the skills required to maintain and operate a range of T and RS systems, otherwise known as traction and rolling stock systems, subsystems, ancillary equipment, and vehicle trim. NTAR also offers qualifications at level 3 for ex-forces to enable them to join the rail industry in traction and rolling stock as well as telecoms. If you would like to hear more information about NTAR, then please see the website on the slide for more.
Before I leave, let's have a quick recap on what we've covered in this presentation. I've given you an introduction to Siemens Mobility, our technology, and some information on our Gould manufacturing site. I have also covered what stages you should expect within the recruitment and selection process, with particular insight into the role of the assessment centre. You've also had some recommendations from a candidate. If you have any further questions, please visit our recruitment page. Thanks for listening, and look forward to meeting you at an assessment centre in the future.